And at that time, I was my dad's shadow. Like, we were missionaries in Brazil, and so he would be working on the farm or working with different people, and I was his shadow. I would go everywhere with him. I even went with him to his dentist appointments. It was a chance to go to town with Dad, and we had to walk down a mile to town and then catch a bus to go half an hour away to another town, and that's where his appointments were, whether he went to get tools or different things, and I would always want to go with him. And one time we went, and we were on the bus, and it was a pretty busy day on the bus, and there was a lot of people on there. And Dad and I had gotten on early, so we had seats, and a lady came on, and my dad asked me, he leans over and he asked me, he says, can I offer her my seat? And I don't remember, I've sat by other people, by strangers before, it wasn't a big deal, but for some reason that moment, I said, no, it's not okay. I don't want to sit by that person, I want to sit by my dad. I didn't feel comfortable in that moment sitting by someone else. And I don't think, I believe that he actually wouldn't offer a seat, because that was what my dad did. He was kind, he was thoughtful and a gentleman. But he asked me, and then I said, no, I don't want you to give up your seat. But I thought he would anyway, but he didn't. He said, okay. Then he stayed in that seat. And then I felt kind of guilty afterwards. But then later, but that moment has never left me.
Yeah.
I went with my dad hundreds of times on that bus. And I remember vague, crawling. I was little, so we didn't have to pay, so I remember climbing underneath the little turnstile thing, and I remember those trips, but that one is very vivid in my memory.
Yeah.
Because some people might have looked at my dad and said, well, how rude, this man's sitting while this woman is standing, and that is, that's not acceptable. He's not being a gentleman. But what they don't know is there was a little girl sitting next to him that learned a very valuable lesson that day.
Yeah.
That my daddy cared about me. And what I thought and what I said, he cared about me. And he listened to me. What I said and what I asked mattered to him. And that's never left me. And so now there's some times where I want to ask God for something, or there's something important that is really important to me, but it feels a little selfish. Asking my dad to keep that seat when this woman had to stand felt a little selfish. And sometimes we feel like there's things that we want to ask of God, but it feels a little selfish. And there's been times where I said, God, why do I think that I should have this? And his response to me in those times is, because you're my daughter and I'm your daddy, and I want to give it to you. So I feel like there's some people here, some of us here maybe today, that are feeling like, I can't ask God to do this for me. That's selfish, or that's extravagant. Sometimes we think some of our requests are extravagant. And sometimes God says, there's a good dad. Sometimes dad says, I'm going to give up my seat. And my dad gave up his seat many times after that. But there's those moments where God says, sometimes God says no, and sometimes he says yes. This is a moment where I'm going to bless you because you are my child, and I want to say yes.
Yeah.
And other people might think it's kind of silly or stupid, or other people might, how dare you think that God will do that for you? And I said, yes, he does.
Yeah. Amen.
He does dare to do that for me. So there's something extravagant that you are wanting to ask God for this morning. His answer is yes. He is your